I just want to welcome you, actually, first of all, to Mimi Meet. It's so nice that we can finally get a chance to talk like face to face.
Yes, it's been my pleasure, absolutely, Mimi.
We really wanted to talk to you for a long time, as ever since I saw the first Mirzapur. So I've always wanted
Thank you so much.
I've always wanted to get in touch with the creator, and of course it is your show, it's your baby in a way, the show. And so I've always been kind of mad for Mirzapur, as you know, and so it's been a dream of mine to kind of connect with people who have worked on the show as crew members or cast, and it's just been an absolute dream to kind of connect with you today.
Thank you so much for showing so much kindness, because I mean, what would a show or movie be if people don't like it? So if someone has liked it so much, I would call it something for which we should be grateful for, and we're really blessed that we were able to make it.
As we're going to talk more about Mirzapur in a bit, I wanted to actually, before that, ask you a movie mad question, because I know you're just as movie mad as I am. And so I'd like to ask you, what's the first film that made you fall in love with cinema?
So see, I come from a very non-filmy background. My father used to work in a government job. He was an officer in UP government. UP is a state in India. So basically, okay, it all started with this movie. So there was this movie called Sadma, which had Kamal Haasan and Sridevi in it. And that movie had another actress called Silk Smitha in it. And Silk Smitha used to be, you know, this actress who people used to go and watch. So basically, in that movie, I think it was Silk Smitha's debut film, and it was supposed to come on DD, Doordarshan. And
yes, I've heard of that.
So I was I think in my 9th or 10th standard, so must be what, 15 or 16 years old. I must have been, and they put out these advertisements on TV that, you know, on this date this movie will come, and they started showing some kind of a trailer thing, and they deliberately started putting out that song which was featuring Silk Smitha in it. And there was a sauciness about her, and I, being 15, 16 years old guy on the cusp of adulthood, the hormones raging situation, I really wanted to watch that film. So and I was wondering, how do I watch this, because my parents would be at home. So incidentally, what happened, the day it was supposed to telecast, my parents had to go out for a night to some other place. So I got this opportunity to watch this film.
Perfect timing.
Yeah, perfect timing it was. And I am planning to watch this film for Silk Smitha. The way Sridevi and then Mr. Kamal Haasan, both these great actors, took over. I actually forgot when Silk Smitha came into the movie, and when her song came and it ended. The movie left me crying, I was saying, and because the way this whole movie was structured around Sridevi's character, and then Mr. Kamal Haasan stole the last 10 minutes, kind of. So then, you know, I kind of forgot about Silky Smitha being in the movie, which was the original reason for me to watch the movie. And that's when I think that was the first time I realized that movies have a certain power and magic which can make people feel something when they watch it. And that's when I figured that this is something which I might be fascinated with. So it's not like that things changed right after that for me, but that thing stayed with me. And probably it helped me become a filmmaker to whatever extent I am as of now, going forward in life after that.
Oh, that's a really sweet story, and that's basically it leads on really well to my next question. Was actually going to be, how did the journey of Puneet the writer begin?
So I was working in the corporate world. I had a graduate degree and then a postgraduate degree. I was working in the corporate world, and there came a time where I wanted to take a decision. Okay, I can continue this way, which is a safe environment, and I can continue the other way, which is more maybe happiness giving. So that was when I decided to quit my job and ask my family that this is a decision that I'm taking, and let's see how life treats me after that. So then I became an AD. AD is the term for assistant director in our movie business. I became an AD with some of the wonderful people in our industry. And I think that helped me understand the process better. I could understand that movie making, which is a terribly stressful business, while you make it on the set, plan for it, and then, you know, the post portion of it, and then the release part of it. these things can be done without being bad people to anyone else while working on your set. And when all people come together with the same vision of one person, the ship moves in the right direction. So these are the learnings that I got from those experiences, where I worked with some really beautiful people who are very, very famous and big even those during those times, but they treated me with a lot of love and respect. And that is what I walked away with when I kind of changed jobs from one project to another. And then one of those projects, I had gone there to work as an AD. The director sat with me for a couple of days, and then he said that it seemed like you have good language skills, he said. And I said, yeah, maybe better than others slightly. And then he offered me to write the movie.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So I was an AD on the movie to begin with, but then I became a writer of the film. And then he also offered me the job of lyrics writing of the movie.
Oh, wow.
So that movie got made. I think it was a beautiful film. It got made, but it never got a release for some reasons between the producers and whoever the deciding parties on that project were. But that experience turned me from an AD to a writer.
Oh,
And
wow.
from that point onwards, my all the projects were of a writer. I never worked as an AD after that.
So similar, like I had like a sort of corporate background, but then it kind of moved into like the film world.
Yes. Maybe there's a similarity there between us in
Yeah,
that
yeah,
sense,
exactly.
yes.
And so that's actually wonderful to hear. And so I wanted to ask next, like, do you have like a process when you write? Do you kind of visualize as you write the scenes? Do you visualize the scenes in your head whilst writing? How's your process?
So my process is, I think someone might call it haphazard also. And so there is no process per se, to be very honest, the way I write. Sometimes when I'm writing a scene, I don't even know what the next line would be. I can't think ahead, if I may say that. I'm a slow thinker in that sense. I just hope that the next line will come, the next dialogue will come. So sometimes when I'm starting to write a scene, I don't even know where the scene will end. I will figure it out, find it in those 2 or 3 pages when the scene is being written, literally speaking. That's my way of writing. And hence, if you look at it, there are many things in the Bible, as we call it, the original pitch document. In the OTT business, we call it Bible. So you will find that there are many things which have changed from the Bible to the script. Some characters have gone out and some new characters have come in. Some characters were like special appearance or friendly appearance in the show originally to begin with, but they've become like really important characters when I started writing them. So there is no exact process to it. And second thing is I have a tendency of speaking all the dialogues loud while writing them. So I have an idea how the actor would speak it. So then, the right intonation, the right modulation. If it's a comedy, the timing is very important. Right pause, right comma, all those things will come into play. So that helps maybe. And one thing that I'm really trying to learn even better with every passing day is that once we have written something and we are going back to it, say 2 days later, I think we should be reading it not from the point of view that, okay, we wrote this. I think we should be reading it from the point of view of whether we like it when we read this.
Yes.
So we have to read it from the point of view of a reader, which by default will become the viewer when the written material gets converted into a screen material. So that is something which I'm trying to learn with every passing day. And so far it has worked. I hope it keeps on working.
It has, yeah. And that's exactly what I was going to say. Like it feels so real. Like as I'm watching, when I watched Mirzapur, like I've never been to Mirzapur, the city. I've never seen it in person, but like it was so descriptive, and I felt like I was there, a part of the whole clan, a part of the crew, and I actually felt like I was a part of that world for the time I was watching that series, and even series 2, series 1, series 2, both of them. I felt like I was connected to the world, and I've never met anyone like Colleen Bhaiya in my life, or Munna, but I was feeling so connected to these characters and their stories. And that's the example of how well the writing is, because I mean, the fact that someone as terrible as Munna, who whatever he's done in his life, he's done such terrible things, but you still have that connection towards the end of season 2, and you feel kind of sad for him. Like he's become Amar at the end of season 2. So his
Correct.
character has become Amar in a way, like he was saying
Right.
throughout season
Right.
2. And so I
Yes.
just, yeah, I wanted to just put that out there because I just think that's the key, is the writing and like the comedy timings, as you said, like the famous Chacha who's dancing at the wedding, and like the timings are perfect. Like there's so many like terrible things happening at the same time, but as well as like comedy timings are just on point.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
perfect.
Actually, that part, the credit will also go to the directors, Gurmeet and Mihir,
Hmm.
because what is on paper, if it has to be translated into screen, there is
Yeah.
another special skill which is required to do that. Otherwise, people would be reading a book called Mirzapur rather than watching a show called
Yeah,
Mirzapur.
yeah,
So I
exactly.
think that skill also comes into play, and both Gurmeet and Mihir are terrific directors.
Mhm.
So those were the ones
Definitely.
who helped translate this whole thing, which was written by me and Vineet. And so I think that helped also. And what you're talking about, the way you felt about Munna or say Kaleen Bhaiya, uh, I think personally, I also believe that neither of us as human beings is a perfectly black or white person.
Yeah.
All of us have gray sides
Mhm.
inside us. So if all of us gray sides inside us, one person might be looking at us as a villain, another might be looking at us as a hero.
Mhm.
So then that should be the case with the characters also. So
Yeah.
even if Guddu is technically speaking the hero of the show, but Guddu also is someone who can be going wrong all the times.
Yeah. Yeah.
You might not want someone like say a Guddu Bhaiya in your family who is willing to do
Yeah.
anything to climb up the social strata. At the same time, you understand why Munna is the way he is.
Yeah.
So I think we were going by the logic that people have all the shades in their hearts and minds. They can be dark and white at the same time, and we are able to show that to people. They will be able to look at all the characters as human beings rather than hero or villains.
Hmm. Makbul, who's done similarly, he's done things, but
Yes,
at the same time, that's kind of his like job to do carry out the orders, and so
exactly.
so in a
Yes,
way, he's not
yes,
emotionally connected to that. It's just a job for him, and so he's not actually,
correct.
he probably doesn't want to do it, but it's like a job.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, for example, Makbul is someone who is doing the job for Kaleen Bhaiya because, say, 20 years ago in the past, Kaleen Bhaiya
Yeah.
saved his mom's life.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
now it's a promise that he had made to him, and he's kind of honoring that promise.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
so is a man a great man because he's honoring a promise? I think yes. But
Hmm.
is a man a bad man because he's actually killing people to honor the promise? I think he's a bad man. So there's a combination, and both yin and yang exist. Black and white,
Exactly. Yeah.
the philosophy. So I think that's what we were going with for all the characters in our show,
Hmm.
and maybe that's what connected with the audience, and they started liking them and feeling for them, and they decided to go on a ride with all of them.
Exactly, and that's exactly what it
Yeah.
was, because like, I mean, there's so many scenes that I could just think at the top of my head which scene I love, which scene. But I wanted to ask you first, as the creator, what's your favorite scene from the show?
Okay. So in season 1,
Hmm.
my favorite scene is when Munna kills Compounder,
Yeah.
because you
Wow.
know that he is hurting terribly when he's doing the deed, but he
Mm.
has to do the deed, and it is kind of encouraged by the man who is actually going to get killed.
Yeah.
So
He's
there is
like,
a
you
lot
can do
of
it. Yeah.
courage in that scene from both the men's sides, but from a normal society's point of view, both the men are not good men.
Hmm. I know. I
So now
felt
how do
so
you
sad.
yeah, and the two actors who were playing those two roles, one being Divyendu Bhai, who plays Munna, and the other being Abhishek,
Abhishek.
who was playing Compounder. They are very close friends in real life also.
Yes, you can see that connection, the
Yes, so it
chemistry.
became kind of emotional for them as well, because it became a very, very highly powered scene, and I remember Gurmeet shooting it differently than how it was written in the script in terms of the setting of the
Hmm.
scene.
Hmm.
And I was thinking, okay, it is being done differently. Will it work? But it worked, and how?
It's true, because I was just
Yeah.
actually, I wrote in my first review, I actually mentioned that it's kind of like you see the soft side of Munna when he kind of goes to
Yes.
Compounder's
Yes.
grandmother to give
Yes.
money, like, do you need anything?
Yes.
And you
Yes.
see that like unusually soft side to Munna because of his
Correct.
friendship, and like that's his closest person, like I think
Right.
that was in his life, and
Yes.
so
Yes.
you kind of see that friendship, and it's just actually you feel sad because Compound is kind of saying to him like you have no other choice, so he kind of
Yeah, you have to kill me. Otherwise, yeah, otherwise you will be in a
yeah,
problematic situation. I don't want that to happen.
yeah,
So despite the fact that Munna killed his best friend, I think when the scene ends, we walk away with the feeling that Munna is hurting. We
mm-hmm.
feel bad for him despite the fact that he has killed someone.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is what describes the complexity of these characters.
Mm-hmm.
For example, if Munna's mother would have been alive, maybe Munna would have been a different person altogether.
Yeah, and you
So
see that,
it's
yeah.
circumstantial. Yes,
You
he
see
was
that
not
when he
born
says,
evil.
yeah, and when he
Yeah, he
says
says
that
that. Yeah.
my mom was from a decent family in season 2, when he
Yeah,
says,
season 2. Yeah, that's the reason
don't
I
say
put it
anything
there
about
in
my
that scene.
nana.
Exactly. Yeah, he respects that side of his family.
My mom
Absolutely.
was from a decent family,
Yes,
meaning it's
yes,
Salim's
correct. Yeah,
Indian.
yeah. You can call whatever you want to call my father's side of people,
Yeah, but
but my
not my
mom's side were
mom's
good
side.
people. Yeah, yeah. Exactly.
And it's 100% true. And actually, I wanted to tell you about my two favorite scenes of mine. I mean, in season 1, I think from the beginning, I mean, I rewatched actually just the other day. I rewatched the scene where Munna comes to see the pundits for the first time in the house. You kind of threaten the Vakil during the case, and it's just from beginning to end. It's just a perfect scene because the tension build up is perfectly timed,
Yes.
and like he's being kind of nice, like he's kind of saying like they're like kind of like seeking the blessings of Mrs. Pandit as they walk into the house, and like
Correct.
you don't know what's going to happen, but at the same
Yeah.
time they're acting like so casual, but you know exactly like what they're capable
Yeah.
of.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Correct. And
yeah,
I think there's a strange comedy also happening in the scene, the way they talk to each other, the
yeah,
way Lalit's ear blows off because of the
yeah.
gunshot, and he's trying to find the ear and
And
trying
trying
to
to put
find
it in
a
the freezer.
ice tray. Yes, and I remember we were talking about it. So it had 9 primary characters,
Mm-hmm.
and then
Yeah.
you won't believe it that the whole thing was shot in, I think, 1.5 days. The
Wow.
whole 9 characters, the dialogue portion as well as the action portion.
Mm-hmm.
And it was very deliberately designed. When I wrote that scene, I remember designing a scene in a way where every character in that scene, which is 9 characters, so every character has something to do and contribute to it.
Yes, definitely.
Because in a setting like this, no one would be standing or sitting like a frozen dummy and not
Yeah,
doing
everyone's
anything
doing
about it.
something. Exactly.
So I wanted to give everyone something to do with
Mhm.
in this action scene. So that's why all those things are designed like that. There's a fork, there's a hot
The
tea
chai.
kettle, there's a fridge, there's a ice. Yeah, yeah, and all those
Yeah, that's
things.
my favorite scene
And
when
it
Dimpy
turned out
throws
to
the
well.
chai,
Yeah,
when
yeah.
Dimpy throws the chai onto Compounder's chest. That's my
Right,
favorite
right,
scene.
right.
And
Correct. So, and I think the way Guru designed it was, I think it had, if I remember it correctly, we shot it multiple camera setup, and if I remember it correctly, Guru telling us that it was 110 shots that were stitched together to make that scene, and it was all done in, I think, 1.5 shifts. I think not more than that, maybe less.
wow, that's actually like, and it's so memorable still, like 3 years on. The Shabnam Shadi massacre, as I like to call it, has so many like moments. There's so much going on, but and so what I loved was actually how you've captured like even like small beautiful moments in the scene before the violence kind of starts. You have where the family portrait of the family getting on stage, taking a picture, and it kind of took me back to like the times when I went to weddings and we went to kind of like the stage to do a family picture, and you've kind of captured that scenes like that. I mean, like Guddu doesn't realize that he's standing in between Sweetie and Bablu for the last time during that scene, and it's just and like Dimpy's helping her friend get dressed for the wedding, and
Yes,
yeah, people
yes.
remember the violence part of it, but I also remember the like kind of small key aspects, like small things that makes it so real, like
Yes, and I
we
think
all
if
feel it.
if you if you're seeing that, yeah, if you're seeing those characters very very close to the point of violence, you are way more connected to them, and that's when
Definitely.
something bad happens, you feel hurt about it.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
if our intention was to make you feel bad about a certain situation, and you felt that, that means we did our job well.
yeah,
And
exactly.
you remember that one moment in that family portrait which you're talking about, where Gudu actually holds Sweet in his
Oh
hand.
yes, definite.
He has gotten to know about her being pregnant just before that, So that was again, Guru's idea, because we were struggling, how to show that he has felt something really strong with this pregnancy news.
Yeah.
And it actually happened because I think that was Guru's idea to make Guddu hold the sweetie's hand, and that said it all.
It's so
You
sweet.
didn't need
It's
a
so
dialogue
sweet.
after that.
It's
Yeah.
such a sweet moment because you don't realize that's like the last picture they'll ever have
Yes.
together, and actually it really made me think back to like whenever like I've been to a wedding, I always think, oh, it's like a forced family picture on the stage, but actually it makes you think like you should really savor moments like that, like especially
Because
during
it's
the
maybe
pandemic.
it's the last one in that show, in that scene, is the last family picture instead of
Yeah,
being the first
yeah,
one.
and
Yeah.
it really made me kind of connect to that scene a lot because especially like during the pandemic, you kind of think, well, you haven't seen people for a long time, and like a family picture like that, it hasn't happened for a
Yeah.
while, and it kind of makes you savor
Correct.
the moment when. So next time I go to a wedding, I will kind of think and look at it differently. That going to the stage, take a
Yeah,
picture.
I'm grateful. I'm grateful that you felt like that after watching that scene, that it becomes important for you, and you can feel something deeper because you watched something, and
Exactly.
that is something. If we are able to do it, we are blessed.
Yeah, and even like the
Yeah.
scene in Gudu, he's kind of like he's coming back to himself, like when he's cradling like the baby, he's kind of had a
Yes.
realization of
Yes.
pregnancy,
Yes.
and scenes like that, and it's just so well like written and directed as well. And even Munna's dialogue when he's saying that it really hurts when people don't recognize how worthy
Yes.
you
Yes.
are.
It's important for us. It was very important for us to say that, to make him say that, because in that one line, the whole life of Munna is kind of encapsulated.
Mhm.
That this is why he has been really doing this. He's seeking validation from his father, which I think
Yeah,
most of the kids do. So it was kind
exactly.
of, he was representing many people in this world who were seeking validation from their parents or from their bosses or whoever. Yeah.
Mm. And it's that's exactly like, and also like if I can talk about season two, I think one of my favorite scenes was, you know, Makbul when he's sitting in the Qabristan next to his Ammi's and his and Babur's graves. That was so sad because like you know, he's basically kind of his loyalty has basically
Yes.
kind of like he has to kind of be loyal, but at the same time he has that realization that maybe I shouldn't be so loyal anymore. Look what's happened. My entire family's gone. I never had a chance to get married and have kids, and these two are my only family members, and they're gone.
Yeah.
And that's sort of when he looks at Bauji and he looks like this. He's kind of had that earth-shattering realization
Yes.
of
Yes.
what has
Yes.
happened next.
Correct. And actually, in that scene, if you remember, Bauji and Akhandanand also can't say that they didn't get it done.
Yeah,
They want to say that they got it done because they are wanting to now shield Munna from Maqbul's wrath.
exactly. Because
If they
Bingbul,
believe that, yeah, if they tell him that Munna did it on his own, maybe he will run a higher risk of Maqbul retaliating. But if they tell him that we ordered it, then probably the loyalty will win over, and the control over him will win over the fact that he might take a revenge. So it becomes a very complicated scenario where you want to say the truth but you can't.
exactly. And so
Yeah.
yeah, even like when they sit back in the car, they know that it's kind of wrong what happened.
Yes.
And so that it's kind of that gray area, like you said, because like even though they have some sort of morals as well, and so kind of like they know like it's kind of wrong, but
Yes.
at the same time we
Yes.
must shield Munna because it's
Correct.
important to
Correct.
protect him. And it's
Correct. If you actually look at, if you are talking about it from a morality point of view, so if you look at Akhandanand, for
yeah.
example, Kaleen Bhaiya,
Mhm.
now if you look at him as a man in the society, if we decide to forget about his business or his
Yeah.
being the master of the town business for a moment, he's not a bad person.
No. Yeah.
He's not an alcoholic. He's not an abusive person.
Yeah.
Uh,
You said you respect
he's
women.
not a womanizer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's kind with his own people.
Yeah.
He respects Makbul. So all those things, if you look at it and if you take this part away from his life, he seems to be a good man.
Yeah.
So maybe if he didn't start with his father's dream of ruling this town, he
Yeah.
would have been a very different, say, a middle class corporate employee in the
Mm.
same town. Yeah.
Exactly. And so
Yeah.
that's so true. You kind of like feel sad for them and then you kind of feel angry at them at the same time.
Yes.
And so
Yeah.
both seasons have like a long tracking shots. Like I mean in season one we see the tracking shot of Guddu and Bablu running in that building and it was so
Yes.
memorable, that scene alone, like
Yeah.
when they're spiraling across the steps, and it, almost kind of like a video game style.
Correct.
And even in season 2, we see Mihir's direction in Mao, when they go to see Lala, Munna's men go to see Lala, and that scene, the scene with the torch.
Yes.
And like scenes like those, I mean, there's not as much dialogue. So how do you kind of begin to write scenes like those? I know directors.
So in this case, for the first scene, which you said, where the camera goes up and they keep climbing the floors, Guddu and Bablu cops are chasing them.
Yeah.
The original version was written with lot many dialogues.
Okay. Yeah.
The original version was not written with the plan of it being a single take shot. It was Guddu Bablu meet people on the way. Some people are dangerous, some are not. And while interacting with them, they are kind of aware that the cops are also chasing them.
Yeah,
so they keep climbing the floors or keep climbing the out of the windows or things like that. But then I think Guru thought that maybe a single take would work better for this without too many dialogues, because that might dissipate the tension. So from the paper, it was then kind of rewritten for this whole single take shot, wherein they will just come in and do different things. There's gun being fired and those things are happening while cops are chasing them, and you see all of it happening in one single take. The camera keeps going up and up and up across I think 3 or 4 floors, and that's when you end the scene, when you know that maybe cops will not be able to catch them.
And I love that. I love Gurmeet's direction in that, because it's just like, it's almost like you're in a video game. You're seeing exactly you're kind of going up the steps with them.
Correct.
Like that. And so I love that. It's dimly lit, and you have like a few flashes of light.
Correct.
And that's it.
Correct.
And I love that. Absolutely love that. And even in like
and you know what, Mimi, it was all shot in one single day. Rehearsals also being done on the same day.
Wow.
So rehearsals and that shot was all done in one single shift.
And it's so perfect to watch on screen. Like when you talk about scenes that you remember, like visually, those two definitely come to mind, like season 1's and season 2's as well. Munna's men going up the steps along Lala's Haveli in Mao, and actually, one of the henchmen, I couldn't help notice that he was from the film Soldier. I grew up watching Bobby Deol's film Soldier.
Yes.
And I was thinking, I had to pause it, and I was like, is this the same guy, Jojo from?
Yeah, it's the same guy.
And
yes. And there's one other trivia for you. The actor, his name is Jeetu Verma.
Yeah, Jeetu Verma.
And and he is younger brother to the action director in the film.
Yeah, Manohar Verma. Yeah.
Manohar Sir's, he's Manohar Sir's younger brother.
Yeah, and I was actually like, I remember, and what's really funny is in Soldier, he kind of gets his teeth set on fire, and in this he has a torch put in his teeth, so he always has like a problem with his tooth.
yeah. Something maybe something wrong with his teeth that we're trying to fix.
It was destiny, because like from 98, that was 98, and this was like 20.
Yeah, I think it was 98. It's like 20, more than 20 years apart. Yeah. Soldier was a super engaging film.
Yes. Definitely.
Yeah, it was
so memorable. His face.
Yes, it is. It is very much. We actually wanted to use a memorable face with the pan stained teeth. We actually called the character stained teeth man. That was a stained teeth man, because we wanted audience to remember that if that when the set of teeth comes back to Akhandana in the courier, we should be able to remember that exactly this set belongs to that.
They know exactly whose mouth.
Yeah. Correct.
That's so true. So how involved do you like to be on set along with Mihir and Gurmeet?
So I'm there on the set on all the days, but as I would like to believe that at some point in time the director takes over.
Yeah.
So he is the captain of the ship. So Guru and Mihir took over. And I was there to maybe help with the lines, maybe help with the dialogues, maybe help with the dialect and the accent portions. And since I have written it with my brother Vineet, so maybe I have a smaller reaction time if someone asks me a question. That's the only reason. So if an actor asks me, okay, what happened before this, I might be able to answer it correctly and faster. So that was another part of my role in that show while we're shooting it. Before we start shooting, we have a long pre-production process. In that pre-production process, myself and Guru and Mihir, they all try and come together on the same page. Guru being the primary director of the show. So, and then once we are kind of agreeing all the things. Some places they would kind of give me the leeway to agree on my thoughts. Some places I would give them the leeway to agree on their thoughts. But when we go onto the set, Gurmeet and Mir are the ones who are calling the shots, and I'm kind of aiding them to get it shot. Yeah. And I think we were also coming from a place where we had zero egos.
Yes.
These 3-4 men, myself, Vineet, and Mihir and Guru Bhai, we
Yeah.
had zero egos to begin with. I think we were people by default designed like that also, so that helped. And there was zero ego when something is happening, and one of the this group of men say that, okay, I think we can do it slightly differently, and maybe it will be better. So there's a way that people will react to this, right? In most of the cases, it was mostly like, okay, if this works better for the show, let's put it in.
Yeah.
And even on the set, if there's a discussion happening, I am sure I can say it with 100% confidence that if you talk to anyone on the set, the crew members or the actors, no one would say that there was any disconnect between me and Guru while we were shooting the show, or between me and Mir while we were shooting for the show, or between Guru and Mir while we were shooting the show.
Yes.
So we were kind of all on the same page, trying to solve the problems, going on this ride together and having fun on the way.
And I think that, and it shows, because I was going to say, like as you see like the families on the show, it kind of feels like the crew and the cast and crew both are kind of like they treat each other with such respect, and it looks like
yes, absolutely. We very strongly believe in the fact, and all these men that I keep talking about, they also believe in the same fact that sets should be run in a nice way. There should be no no destruction of any people happening on the set. That should not be the case. And we personally believe that even if we are making a violent or a dark show, if we are happy while making it, people will feel engaged while watching it. Somehow that was there in our heads. So there was, I think, never a moment where anyone shouted. Despite shooting this in difficult conditions, our producers were working around the corner, Abbas and Rupali, along with Excel. I think it was a stressful environment in many days. You're shooting in a lot of heat, we're shooting in a lot of dust, but not even once the tempers were raised. Not even once. You can during 70, I think we shot for 73 days in season 1 and 78 days in season 2.
And actually you can definitely like sense that because of the fact the way it's made. It's made with such love, you can tell.
Yes,
like,
yes, that's the word.
Really
yes,
mad people. I'd like to say all four
yes,
of you
yes,
guys.
absolutely, yes. Our only goal was to make something which should be engaging for the people.
Exactly.
We were really not operating from an intellectually superior high ground. We were really wanting to make something which has layers. If someone wants to see layers, they should be able to see it. If someone wants to simply have fun and look at it as a pulpy show, they should be able to do that. So we're trying to cater to both the types of audience, and I think we did it to a good extent in our attempt while doing so. And you know what, in Hindi there is this line that is kind of pasted in our offices, on our doors of the rooms. It says "Bas maza aana chahiye," which simply translates into let's just have some fun. That's it. So that was our kind of motto while we were making this show.
I want to talk more about like the writing. I mean, the women of Mirzapur are so progressive, because I think they were so well written. Like Beena, Madhuri, Golu, like all of them. They like, I call them like the Strees of Mirzapur, and I absolutely love like the way they're written. Like and I actually
thank you so much.
I was talking to Rustika in the beginning of the year, and she told me Puneet and Vineet's writing for Beena is so deliciously wicked. She actually used that.
Oh, that's a wonderful term to use. Yes, it is.
She actually, I've quoted her word for that. That's what the word she used.
Oh, lovely.
Did you have in mind, like when making the female characters, what kind of female roles you wanted to portray on screen?
No, it was never planned or designed like that. I think it happened organically, and by default, if you see, it's a show, or it's a world full of men, and they're high on testosterone and carrying guns and having their way. So by default, if you look at it, women have to be strong to survive in that. They might not look very strong, but they are navigating through it in a very smart way. They are. It doesn't mean that they have biceps or they are 6 feet tall. No, they don't need
like
to
be. She doesn't look
they have they have their minds and hearts in place. And I think the way we were wanting to write it, it also came from the place that if you look at our personal lives, my mother, which is Vineet's mother as well, we are brothers. So my mother has been a strong person. Respective wives are very strong people. Gurubhai's wife is a strong person.
Yeah.
So I think we came from a world where we had seen women strong in their opinions, their heads and hearts being strong, supporting the men when they are trying to do something different, rather than saying that men run the house. You know what I'm saying? So I think all those things maybe also played on our heads when we were trying to write these characters. So it's kind of a intersection of what we were watching in the society around us as families and what we are trying to show in the fictional world of Mirzapur as far as women characters are considered.
Like in the end of like season 1, where Golu kind of shoots the gun. I know she misfires, but she actually kind of saves the day in a way by
Yes,
kind of
yes,
misfiring and
correct.
distracting Munna and his men.
Yeah, yeah.
And like even in season 2, her transition that we see, and Bina is like scheming and without Colleen realizing what she's doing.
Yes, yes.
And
So Kalin Bhaiya is actually ruling the town, but in his own house, he's getting destroyed very slowly, and he doesn't
yeah,
even get to know about it. That
exactly.
tells about the intellectual power that Bina Tripaঠি's character has.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. All the women of Mirzapur have like a mean punch. They're not
Yes,
just like
yes,
they're not just damsels, and like you see,
yes,
you're not
yes. They're not.
sidelined in an alpha male driven society. They're actually kind of giving some back,
Yes.
and that's
Yes,
important.
if you look around us, I'm sure the numbers are low as compared to men. But if you see a woman in a position of power, whether she's a filmmaker or she's running an organization
Yeah,
or running a house for
yeah,
that matter, I think they're running it with a lot of power and
yeah,
intellect and a lot
yes.
of empathy also.
Mhm.
So if we look at them, though they are less in number, but wherever they are and whoever they are, I think they're doing a great job. So that means this tribe exists, you
Mhm.
know. So then why can't they exist in our fictional stories? They should be.
Exactly. And I
Yeah.
think we've always seen like in films, like I mean, I've always constantly seen like there's the hero, but then the wife is kind of sidelined on the side just to be the pretty
Yes, we
person in the
didn't want to
family.
do that.
But
And
it
it was
wasn't
not
like
only
that. Yeah.
about women, it was not only about women, we also didn't want to sideline characters. We wanted to show Compounder has a life. We wanted to show that Makbul, despite being only a right-hand man, has a life, has a loyalty factor,
And
has
that's
a
what I love this
decency.
time around, because before in season 1 you kind of just see this Herculean man, and in season 2,
Yes,
I mean, you see like such a family side to him where he's taking care of his
correct.
nephew and his
His
mum who's
mom.
not well,
Yes,
and so actually that the human side you see of Makbul, and you can even
yes.
see he writes in his diary. And actually, talking of other characters, like the transition of Raja was so amazing from season 1 to season 2.
Yeah,
Like his transition, like to being potentially one of the fathers of
correct,
Bina's
correct.
child. and
Yes.
and I was actually, in a way, I was hoping that he would miraculously survive, but maybe he had like a bodysuit of like Burton and pots and pans. Maybe he would have survived that shooting.
Also talk about that the male desire that people have wherein they really want their lineage to continue, you know.
And Raja
Yeah,
basically does anything for their child because
for the child. I need,
he
yeah,
knows
and then
he has no other way
yeah,
of being a father again,
of being
and
a father again.
that's his only
Yeah,
way of being a father.
correct.
And I absolutely love Nitin's transition from season 1.
Oh yeah, he's a wonderful actor.
Yeah,
Nitin is a wonderful actor.
yeah,
We remember when he came onto the set in season one.
yeah.
So you know, actor get into the character.
Hmm.
So he came in on the set. We just asked him to get in the costume,
Yeah,
discuss the character and all, and the scene. And the first scene we were shooting with him is castration scene, and so he didn't have any mental uh, support to understand where this character is
yeah,
coming from, because he's not shot anything before that scene. But
exactly.
I think it was done very well. And it came out very well. It was scary,
Yeah.
and yeah,
And I
yeah.
actually, he mentioned that when I talked to him, he mentioned that like that was the first time he'd kind of like met the other characters, and kind of like met
Yes,
Bina on set, and it's like the scene is like such an awkward scene, but like I mean,
correct.
and he did it so well, and
So
it's
well,
so
yes,
brave, like such a brave thing to do, and even
correct.
like Asif Khan's Babar, I absolutely loved this season as well. Like he's kind of because at the end of season 1, you're not sure, will he kind of turn on and go back to Makbul, or will he kind of stay with Guddu? And he stays with Guddu.
Correct.
And
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
and we are also trying to say something here that, for example, sometimes people follow what they see. So if Babar has seen Maqbool Khan, his uncle, following the whole uh, philosophy of loyalty his entire life,
And he
maybe
says
that is what shaped him the way he is now. He will also follow the
Wafadari.
mantra. And then you're kind of sitting down and thinking whether that's the case with Munna also.
Mm.
Was the Khandanan like this when he was younger? Was that something that shaped
Yeah.
Munna the way he is now?
Even the supporting characters, like they stood out as well as the main cast. And
Yes.
that's the importance, I think, of Mirzapur for me. Like you can remember each and every character. Each and every character has like
Yes,
an
yes.
important part.
I think that also can be attributed to the fact that we had a brilliant bunch of actors.
Yeah,
We were blessed to have all of them, because a scene will not work if all the actors are not beautiful in it.
exactly. Yeah,
And that's what we got. And yeah, I mean, we were blessed to have them, because without them, you would not be able to connect with them emotionally, and the show will not work for you. A lot of credit goes to them. Yes.
And it's like so amazing, like actors like Ali Fazal. I hadn't seen him like in this sort of role until
Yes, yes, yes.
And like I had seen him in other films, but like this role was so different and so new, and it was.
I
so
think
nice.
same goes for Munna's character also. We
And
hadn't
Divyendu,
seen Divyendu like that before that,
He was never
Yeah,
like
and
that.
they pulled it off with so much elan, and it was too good.
I saw him in like a Pyar Ka Panchnama,
Correct.
and it was like a
Like a
comedy.
schoolboy, and yeah, it's a comedy, and a
Film,
girl, yeah, guy chasing a girl. And here it's completely a different transformation. The kind of menace he brings to the role, it's insane.
Yeah, he reminded me of like a young Amjad Khan, like the Gabbar.
Yeah, yeah. There's a coldness to it,
Yeah.
and the same time, if you discuss Ali Bhai, uh, there's a certain dignity to the character he brings, despite
the
being
virtue,
goofy.
yeah, he brings that
Yeah,
virtue to the
yeah,
character. Because,
yeah.
like, I mean, in season one, he's so like his season one character is really impulsive and makes impulsive decisions, and Bablu's the more calm person, like his kind of calming presence. But then in season two, because he doesn't have that Bablu presence, he's
Support. So he kind of changes. He's
Yeah.
starting both the personalities now.
he
Yes.
becomes
Even in
both.
season one, if you say that he's goofy and maybe a bit unreliable, still he has the courage to go and tell the love of his life that I am a man of violence. I'm a man who operates in the world of violence.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to go ahead with me, this is a
He
time
does,
to
and
take a
yeah,
decision.
and-
He's honest about it. He's absolutely honest about it.
Yeah, and I love his chemistry with Shabnam as well. Like because they both dealt with the same problems. So it kind of like broke stereotypes of like Shabnam can be with someone like Gudu, and it's kind of I thought it was actually really lovely to see that. And I think Ali Fazl's like his transition to Gudu 2.0 was just as nice to see as like season one was a surprise. Like wow, we haven't seen Ali Fazl.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah.
And in
yeah.
season two, he brought so much virtue to the character.
Yeah, and so much gravitas and dignity to the character.
Yes. Bina has always been like my favorite. Rasika's Bina.
and Rasika ji plays it in a, I don't know what, in a deliciously wicked way also.
Yeah, like the progressiveness of the writing, and she was so complimentary of that. And
that's lovely. She's very kind. Yeah.
Do you kind of have a favorite character?
I actually some of the characters with the longer character arcs, of course, you can always struggle to choose. But if I have to really choose, I would say Compounder would be my favorite because of the way he was.
Yeah.
He was doing things without asking anything in return.
I know, yeah.
So he's a man who is operating completely from the place of heart rather than head, though in the process we're doing something really bad and dark.
Yeah, he was kind of like
so imagine that man doing good things with that kind of purity.
Yeah.
And it will change the world.
He would do anything. He'd do anything.
Yes. Yes. And he's not asking for anything. He's not asking for anything better for his mother. He's not asking for money. He's not asking for anything bigger in life. He's just doing it because his friend is asking him to do so. And that's it. Exactly. No questions asked. Yeah, that's an extraordinary amount of courage and loyalty and conviction for.
I mean, Abhishek has become like one of my favorite like OTT people to look at because
he's brilliant. And Abhishek is the casting director of the show also. Abhishek and Anmol Ahuja, they run this company called Casting Way. Anmol does, I think, more heavy lifting for the casting of Mirzapur, but both of them were the casting directors of the show as well.
And he's been so like, I mean, like just the scenes and all the characters Abhishek Banerjee has played over the last few years my God, it's so like hard to
Oh,
do.
he's
Kind of,
too good.
it's
Yeah,
too
yeah,
good.
yeah,
It's so hard to
yeah.
kind of choose a
And I
favorite.
think he has a very nice body frame also, which makes him look very elegantly lazy on screen,
Yeah, like he could do
which I
comedy.
think works
Yes,
well. Yes,
comedy. Like we saw in
yes.
Helmet, he did a comedy, and then we saw like in Patal Lok, he does Hatora Tyagi,
Very dark it was.
and
Yeah.
so he can do anything. Like he can do like
Yes, yes.
comedy, dark,
Yeah,
anything, and he's
yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
versatile. And
And if you meet him in person, like outside the scripts world,
mhm.
he's a very, very soft spoken and beautiful man to talk to.
Like the power of his roles, like they stay in your head. Like you can, like my mom, who doesn't really watch too many like shows like this, she loved absolutely loved Mirzapur, and she absolutely loved Patal Lok. Somebody like my mom, who doesn't watch any dark stuff, she connected
Yeah.
to the characters, and that shows the power of your show.
Oh, lovely. That is so good. Please,
Yeah.
please convey my regards and love to her.
Yes, I will. And so
Yeah.
and my dad, oh my God, he loves your dialogues. The Galia, oh my God, the Galia. He's learned so many vibrant Galia from Mirzapur. He
Yes,
loves,
there are a lot many of them. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Some of them I heard while growing up, and some of them I invented.
since watching Mirzapur, it's such a weird compliment, I know, for you, because like that's down to what you've written, and he loves it.
Oh God. Oh.
and and then it's basically anything
Yeah,
that
but
he
I know it's a compliment, but at the same time, I don't know whether to be embarrassed about it or be happy about it. But I
no,
understand it's a compliment. Yeah.
he's basically he told me, like he knew that I was going to be talking to you, and he actually told me to
Yeah.
specifically say, I absolutely love this man's words. I mean, they're so
Thank you
funny.
so much. Please give my regard to sir,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I'm really grateful that he actually asked you to convey this.
Like he's learned so
Yeah,
many UP slang and
because of
words.
this. Oh wow.
And I think that shows like the power of the fandom around your show, because I'm here in London loving Mirzapur, loving UP. So were you aware, like when you were writing the show, that this show was going to be such a big phenomenon?
No, I think we had an idea that we are making something good and people will enjoy it. That's what our thought was, and that's what our hope was.
Mm-hmm.
We had no idea whatsoever that's going to get this way.
Yeah.
We had no idea.
Yeah,
No way.
like season one, especially, like when it came out, like there was such a big craze, like after it was released, like just 3 years ago in November, I think.
Yeah.
And so
Yes, it was November.
and especially like critics, I don't think they kind of gave it its due until
Which is
now.
also fine. A
Yeah.
couple of critics had did not have kind words to say about it when it had come out, and it kind of hurt us a lot. But then, in my heart, I was feeling very strongly. I think it had come out on Thursday night India time,
Mm-hmm.
and I was very much sure somehow in my heart that okay, come weekend, the Saturday and the Sundays, right after the Thursday, more people will be able to watch it. They'll be able to watch it in one go. It had a binge watch feel to it,
Yeah, it
and
is.
then let's talk about it on Monday. So that's what I was kind of waiting on with a lot of nervousness as well. And by Monday, it was like an explosion. It had exploded.
I actually binge watched it with my brother first time around in 2018, and we just couldn't get enough. Like we were in tears at the end of season one's finale, and because of it's just so like
Yeah.
please let there be another one, because you can't leave it on this. Then I rewatched it last year again, like during the pandemic.
Okay.
And that's
Lovely.
what kind of inspired me to write my review, because I think
it was such what a beautifully written article it was. I remember I think I told you also maybe when we
you told
spoke
me,
on
yeah,
phone.
yeah.
So we were doing this dubbing in one of the studios when Gurubhai showed me this article.
Yes.
And he said, just read it, Punya. It is beautifully written. The writer of the article got so many nuances which we were trying to put in the show. She could see through the layers of the characters, of the tracks. And it was beautiful article to write. Thank you so much for watching it with so much love and then writing it with so much love.
Because I felt so strongly about the show, I wanted to write something unique about it. And then also with like the pictures, my brother, he's like a gallery, so Gallery X.
Okay.
And he can take lots of great photographs. And that's exactly
so. Oh, lovely.
Are kind of like our inspiration and our kind of ode to Mirzapur, like the pictures that we put together. We sent it to Ali Fazal, who was really kind enough to share.
Now I remember. I think Ali Bhai showed it to Guru and then Guru showed it to me.
Yes,
Yes,
exactly,
that's what
yeah.
happened.
And
Yes,
so we
yes,
sent it to Ali Fazal, and
yes.
Ali was so kind. Like he actually shared it on his Instagram, and then he also shared it with Gurmeet, and Gurmeet was so
Yes, yes.
lovely.
And I'm not on Instagram, so I didn't get to know about it from Instagram because I'm not on Instagram.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think that's the chain of events that happened. Yeah. And Ali Bhai by default is a beautiful man. He's a very kind and beautiful man.
Yeah, and Gurmeet
Ali
was
Bhai.
so kind. Like when he read my review as well, and it was so lovely to hear that Gurmeet. Like at the time, I was thinking, wow, the director and the actor both read it, and then when I found out that you had read it, I was like, oh my god, the creators read it, and then with me here, I read it, and then Nitin contacted me saying he's read it,
Oh wow.
And it just
then Rasika you spoke with, and
it was so heartwarming because Mirzapur has like a special place in my heart. So it was lovely to kind of have that kind of gratitude for people who like my writing on their show, and so it was actually a lovely kind of moment during the
and if you get to meet with Gurmeet, so Guru is one of the sweetest persons you will ever meet. You will ever meet.
He seems like that, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, he is. I'm not saying maybe the sweetest on the show. I'm saying maybe the sweetest in the industry.
Oh yes, so I've heard such great things about him, and I'm meaning to do like a director's interview as well, like so with Gurmeet and also Mihir, and I'm meaning to do that at a later stage. So hopefully that we can make that work later.
Yeah.
And I know Gurmeet is very busy at the moment. I think he's on set.
Yeah, but I think time can always be taken out. I'm sure he should be able to.
He's such a genius. Like I mean, a genius with no
ego. That's a very lovely combination. We need more people like him. I think who can do something really great and without being arrogant about it.
Exactly. I think everyone wants to know, like, is Mirzapur 3 on the cards? Will it be happening like in the future?
So I think our producers would be better people to answer that question. But yes, season 3, it is on the cards. Yes.
Okay, that's so nice to hear because there's so many questions we need answers to at the end of season. Because I mean it's left on.
Yeah, I mean so many characters were kind of left at a point where you would want to know what happened to them.
Yeah, like does Lala go to jail? Like does he like? Or like
what does Madhuri do after becoming the CM and losing her husband?
People made like fan theories out of it. Like does Madhuri get pregnant with Munna's child?
Correct.
And Maqbool is gonna join Guddu. People have made like fan theories.
Yes, a lot of fan theories. Yes. That's their love. I mean, what I mean, we didn't expect this much, but it happened.
It's true. Like and like for example, like with Vijay Verma, like he's actually Chote who survived, but then he's pretending to be Bare.
Yeah. So how exactly? I mean, will he be discovered by the family that he's actually
at the end,
masquerading as the other brothers? So correct. Yeah, it's going to be complicated then.
And actually, I wanted to say, like, if you want to like someone to play the role of a journalist or someone from the media, I'm your person. You have my number.
So okay then, I will remember this maybe. Yes, I have your number. I will definitely remember that because I think there is a story somewhere in my heart which can be told from this point of view.
Giving the news, Mirzapur Chronicle.
Fair enough. We will do that, surely, yes.
Probably my favorite show of the last few years, and so.
Thank you so much for saying that. Yeah.
So,
because you made it with so much love and sweat for so many years that if people love it, because that's the primary objective of a storyteller, nothing can be better than that. And that's what happened. And we can only walk away smiling from this.
I think Mirzapur is always going to be a part of your life. Everyone's going to remember.
100% yes. 100% yes. Yeah. There is no way it will. Yeah. There is no way it will not be a part of my life or our lives.
Exactly.
It will always be. Yes.
So are you working on a different project at the moment?
I'm working on another story right now, for which we are kind of starting some work.
Like you said, you were on the pre-production.
Yeah. So I think that story should be coming out sometime around next year. But no exact dates have been finalized yet.
But I'll be looking forward to it because I know you're.
Thank you so much.
And so, but thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you, Mami. It was my pleasure, and that you actually thought that it was worth spending time on, and thank you so much for that.
No, it's been absolutely lovely chat. Like I've really enjoyed having this movie mad conversation with you, and I absolutely just had a great time. And so I
Same
want
here.
to,
Thank you so much.
yeah. So I'm going to wish you all the best and kind of like let you get back
Thank
to
you.
it.
And of course, all of us need all those best wishes and best lucks, because without that, things can go wrong in our business. So thank you for doing that, and thank you for giving me time to answer your questions.
I wish you all the best and
Thank you.
take care, and hope to keep in touch soon. And like,
Absolutely, yes. And you do take care. And if you're at any point in time visiting India, especially our town of dreams called Mumbai, please do give me a shout out, and we would love to catch up over a
oh,
cup
that
of
is
coffee or something.
definitely on my list. I mean, like because of the pandemic, I mean, it's been so
Yeah,
crazy.
it's been
We
tough.
can't
And
go.
if your dad and mom are also visiting, let's do a family sit down.
Oh my God, that would be
Yeah.
amazing. Yes, that is next on the list, but it's just
Yeah,
because of
pandemic has
Corona.
made our lives difficult, and that has also made our shooting lives difficult because of this whole corona threat and all that.
Yeah.
But I think we're slowly getting back on track and getting back to our normal lives. It's happening
Yeah.
slowly but surely. It is happening.
Yes,
Yeah.
let's leave it at that. So slowly but surely, we'll definitely meet in the future. And
Absolutely, yes. I would
yes,
be looking forward to it.
so yeah, me too. So all the best and take care.
Thank you. You too, Mimi.
Okay,
Thank you so
bye.
much.
Bye.
Yeah. Cheers. Bye bye.
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 Cheers.